Hello, this is Kathleen Valentine. This presentation is a reflection on a 4-week course called Brand Development. Included in this presentation will be my personal brand brief, a company brand analysis, competitive review, and a brand strategy presentation. During week 1, we were asked to develop a personal brand brief. Using ideals from Ilana Wheeler's book, Designing Brand Identity, I found it very difficult to think of special abilities that would set me apart from other designers. I chose vision, coherence, sustainability, commitment, value, and flexibility for my brand ideals. Once I had these ideals written down, I came up with my ownliness statement. By the end of this exercise, I could see how this assignment was very valuable in making me think about my personal brand. Sustainability was an ideal that I can relate to at this moment in my career. I've had to adapt quickly like a chameleon to changing needs in my company in order to survive job cuts. During this course, we receive valuable information from various sources. My favorite expert has been Marty Neumeier. His book and videos made me think about the branding process and how important it is to give clear messaging. My ownliness statement needs work to make it more impactful. Per his advice, I need to go back and start over to find the ownliness for my personal brand. During week 2, we were asked to revisit an earlier project from Meeting Client Needs. The assignment was to create a brand analysis. I had to compare the nonprofit organization Alzheimer's Australia to 3 other competitors. A competitive review takes many hours of research. We can see that there are similarities and differences between these organizations. Each are nonprofit, all of the members are part of the Alzheimer's Disease International, and offer caregiver support. Differences vary from year of being in operation, sponsorship levels, and various educational offerings. After completing my research, I chose an organization that needed a rebrand. The organization I chose was Alzheimer's Disease International, which is based out of Singapore. In the branding overview, which we'll learn about in a few more minutes, I will go into more detail about current competitors, brand positioning, value proposition. Hello, and thank you for spending the time in reviewing this presentation. Before I get started, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Kathleen Valentine, and today I'll be presenting a brand overview for the Alzheimer's Disease Association. But first, let's take a look at a few informational facts about this devastating disease. Slide 2 has a few facts about the impact of Alzheimer's disease on the global population. Alzheimer's disease is a form of dementia. The Alzheimer's Disease International is a global voice on dementia, with 79 nonprofit members worldwide. All the organizations that I'll be comparing today are affiliated with this organization. 4.35 million people are living with dementia worldwide. 1 out of 9 adults over 65 is diagnosed with Alzheimer's. ADI believes that the amount of people affected by dementia will double every 20 years. By 2030, 66 million will have the disease, and it is projected to grow to 115 million by 2050. Many of us do not know that Alzheimer's is the number 6 leading cause of death. Throughout this presentation, we will learn more about my rebranding project as well as information about the global competitors that are competing to obtain recognition in this nonprofit field. My rebranding focus is the Alzheimer's Disease Association of Singapore. This organization has many services similar to others in their field, but not have yet developed their ZAG. ZAG is a term used by designer Marty Neumeier to describe a feature of a company or product that is unique, which can differentiate. The ADA of Singapore does not have a solid vision for its organization. Their core values are very ordinary and not dynamic. I would rework their mission bullets into a mission statement, which will be the driving force behind what the organization believes in and strives to achieve. In this slide, we see ADA's differentiation in the center and their 5 ideals surrounding it. ADA's differentiation is their owning and operating of daycare facilities for dementia patients. Transportation is currently free and very important to the caregiver that don't have the means to get their family member to the facilities for therapy. Currently, their logo is a type treatment that is dated and does not have visual interest. In the development of their new logo, I changed their name by removing the word disease and added their location, giving them a specific identity in the Asian region. Next, I researched colors that would be accepted in the Asian culture, then found elements that are associated with Singapore. The colors red and white, the moon and the stars, are part of the Singapore flag. I tried to create the feeling of hope by using the star elements and moon as a base to hold or release the stars. I included their location and website in the logo. Slide 6 shows competitor 1, Alzheimer's Australia, who recently won a rebranding award for their latest redesign and campaign. They, like Alzheimer's Disease Association, need to bring greater attention to their cause, and rebrand was desperately needed. Alzheimer's Australia's differentiation is their new rebranding, and currently, out of the 4 organizations we are comparing, they have the most unique, visually emotional branding that has clear call to action for all the elements that they developed. Alzheimer's Association is a US-based organization that has been in operation the longest out of all their competitors. They have been able to get their message out by using celebrity spokespeople to promote the organization and its cause. This is their unique differentiation. And finally, the last competitor, Alzheimer's Europe. For this organization, like the others, they're very service-oriented. In my discovery phase, I found that their differentiating factor was a unique book written for children which helps them understand more about the disease. This slide is our competitive review. We can see that there are similarities and differences between these competitors. Unlike a for-profit company, who have a product to sell in most cases, these nonprofits need to convince people to support them through donation or volunteerism. How organized you are as a company will give great impact on your value proposition. I believe comparing Alzheimer's Association of Singapore to the rest of their competitive field, they have a lot of work ahead of them to try to be able to pull themselves up to the same level as these other 3 competitors. So hopefully, in a short period of time, if they rebrand themselves, they'll be able to move ahead and at least be at the same playing field as the rest. The SWOT analysis reflects the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for Alzheimer's Disease Association. Their number 1 strength is Singapore's healthcare efficiency, which was rated number 2 in the world. Under weakness, the most concerning is the lack of brand awareness. Their opportunities, they have the ability to research devices that can be used to help caregivers in their day-to-day routine. The greatest threat is the aging population, which is not only in Singapore, but affecting the entire world. There are not enough caregivers to handle the volume of patients that will be diagnosed in the near future. Slide 11 is the action plan. New brand positioning, value proposition, as well as a sustainable competitive advantage was needed to start the ball rolling. All 3 parts of this action plan are focused on emotional support for the caregiver, since they are the hardest hit when dealing with long-term care for their loved ones. In conclusion, Alzheimer's Disease Association's brand strategy and goals can be met by creating a new brand identity, guidelines for the organization, and a solid strategic marketing plan. Getting the word out in a clear and impactful way will enable the Alzheimer's Disease Association to sustain and build upon the promise of being a trusted source for financial, emotional, and advocacy support for their patients, caregivers, and healthcare professionals in Singapore. Thank you very much for spending the time and viewing this presentation. If you need more information on Alzheimer's disease, go to www.alz.co.uk, and thank you.